Racing takes place on Sunday out at Fairview. We are racing on the turf track. 9 races on the program, and it is Sunday the 5th of November 2023. 9 races, as I mentioned, and race number 1 commences at 12:10. Joining me on the line for one of the biggest meetings down in Port Elizabeth is Grant Paddock. And Grant, how are you doing?
Morning, Rahil. Morning, punters. Yeah, doing all good, thank you. Weather seems to be holding out here. We had a good day on the grass yesterday, and hopefully a big one tomorrow in our main meeting of the year.
Let's get straight into it. Race number 1 over 1,200 meters. It's a maiden plate that will be the race to kick off proceedings, and there has been a touch of support for Enchanted Sky. 11-2 into 7-2 from the Glen Cotson yard. Raymond Danielson takes a ride, and I see that the blinkers go onto this filly, so she's obviously a runner that I think we need to give healthy respect to, because if you ignore her last 2 performances, her form is fairly solid.
Yeah, 100%, Rahil. I see, and there's talk on the ground as well for him. Glenn had a good day yesterday with a winner. So, yeah, there is talk on the ground. The money's there. A little bit of a concern, that 19 draw. I watched the racing yesterday, and most of the horses were winning middle inside. So the 19 draw could catch her out, but still got to be a big runner. The other Cotson horse, the Sharon Cotson horse, Graduation Time, has really done nothing wrong. Drawn on the right side of the course at 2, I think, and probably the horse with the right kind of a form. Captain Efficiency, also a decent runner, and then the Professional Maiden, Miraculous Man. I think the winner will come from one of those. I've gone for the 6 to beat the 5, 14 and 1.
6, 5, 14 and 1. So some nice value there with Grant's couple of top 2 selections there in race number 1, in a race where if you can catch the quartet, I think you will certainly be on the right path. Moving along to race number 2, which will be the start of the bar pot, 1,000 meters at distance. This is a fillies and mares 92 handicap, 12:40 the time that you need to get your bets on. And the favourite in this contest is number 2, 3 Rocks, at around 7-10 in the market. It's 33-10 Paris Lass, 9-2 Civil Rights, 6-1 and Better Baldos. Now, Grant, there's no doubt that this filly 3 Rocks, she's on the up and she brings the best form into this contest, and she's obviously a filly that just seems to be improving all the while.
Yeah, 100%, Rahil. She's very quick. She really is a very quick. 2 runs back, she did 56.96 over 5 furlongs. Richard Fourie back up. The danger here, Civil Rights, is no doubt. She's very good course and distance, 4 claiming apprentice up, and James is riding really, really well. But 3 Rocks, definitely the best bet on the card. She'll be very hard to oppose. Civil Rights will chase her home, and I think that's going to be the exacta for the day. Bigger players in the bipod can add Tipsy Tina and Paris Lass, but for me, banker the 3 Rocks, the best bet on the card.
Yeah, that's all in here with number 2, 3 Rocks for Richard Fourie and Alan Creef. Moving along to race number 3, fillies and mares 68 handicap over the 1,400 meter trip, and the place accumulator gets underway at 1 on the afternoon. Illa de Mauritia, for all we know, joint favourites at 4-1. 6-1 about Miami Beach, Opera Swing 8-1. And Better Baldos. What's your thoughts on the third race on the program, Grant? Are you an Illa de Mauritia fan, or you looking for other horses here?
Very tricky races. I don't like this race at all. Illa de Mauritia has got to be a decent runner. She should be all right for the place accumulator. Second run after arrest, my concern. Then there's a filly called Errol's Legacy, back on the grass. Very good run last time out. She'll improve the step up. She'll enjoy the step up in trip. Got to be a runner. For all we know, Richard Fourie factor. And then you've got the 2 Jacques Stradum horses who don't know how to run a bad race, Opera Swing and State of Mind. So very tricky race. Place accumulator play. I went 1-3-8, but I do think you need to go a bit wider with the 6 and the 5. Very, very tricky race, Rahil.
Yeah, 1, 3, 5, 6 and 8 there, the numbers that Grant has mentioned for race number 3. A tricky type of race, and a race where you could get a bit of a result in the start of the place accumulator, so just tread warily in race number 3. Moving along to race number 4, 1,400 meters the trip, and in this contest your market has got Lady Mystico at the top of boards, even we'll call it even money, close to even money at 11-10, 4-1 Carbonado, Rose of Bayou 7-1 about the bottom 3. Now, Lady Mystico, she's a filly that she won her 2 starts prior to that layoff, and she's now returning off a 114-day rest. It will be quite interesting to see how she goes, because if we have a look at her last start, Rose of Bayou should have a stone cold at the weights on that performance. She's 3 kgs better off.
100%, 100%. I agree with you. She's coming back from a 114-day rest. There is a lot of talk on the ground. I must tell you, there is a lot of talk on the ground for Lady Mystico. She was nominated to run in 2 runs prior to this, but they were on the poly and they were on the grass and they moved to poly and she was scratched. So there could be something on the bubble there. I like the way this filly Pinnacle won last time out. She did it the hard way. She really went out and went hard, and they couldn't peg her back. Rosa Bayou, big runner as well. I've gone for those 2 fillies actually. I brashed the favourite. I went from Pinnacle to beat Rose of Bayou, then Carbonado and Lady Mystico. Tricky first leg of the pick 6. You're going to need those 4 horses, no doubt. And in the PA, I went the 3 and the 4. I do give it to Pinnacle. I was just very impressed with the way she won her last start.
Yeah, and that form line has certainly been franked as well. There's been 2 winners, and if Ile de Mauritia happens to run a forward race, well, then that will just enhance the chances of Pinnacle, even though this is a slightly tougher contest. But 4 kgs off the back at 7-1, that could certainly be a nice play in the start of the pick 6. Moving along to race number 5, an MR 96 handicap over 1400 meters. This is the start of Jackpot 1. And when we have a look at this contest, Glenn Cotton is in town with number 9, Blackberry Malt. Now, he just ran 7 days ago, and it's going to be interesting to see if he does happen to take his place in this contest. Was far from disgrace, beaten under a length on Sundays. He's a horse that Glenn has always held in high regard, but Grant, considering that he's a horse that is just on a 7-day backup, I think he could be worth a pose in here, and there are a couple of horses that could get his number.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that one, Rio. I'm not a big fan of running 7 days ago and then travelling to another province. You know, it's a fairly long trip. So, you know, he's got the form. He can be thereabouts. And as you say, he was highly regarded by Glenn. So, got to be a bit of a runner. I'm taking him on. I think the bottom weights here, Brendan James, course and distance, absolutely very, very good. He's got the form. He just needed his last outing. 1 draw, 54 on his back. I'd make him a very hard horse to beat. And the danger here, my value bet on the day is this horse, Narcos. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. He's been running against the best horses in PE and holding his own. Really done very well in the Poly Challenge. There's no problem with him on the grass. So don't just look at those last Poly runs. His grass form is just as good. Narcos is a big runner and he's very well priced. I think he's out at 10-1. And then Transact to fill up the quartet.
Yeah, I certainly think Transact could be a huge contender for top honors. I actually think the 1400 meter triple suit this son of Karari, and as you heard from Grant, Narcos and Brendan James. Brendan James 7-1, and he mentioned he could be hard to beat you, so maybe that's a runner that we need to take note of. 7-1, nice price there about a runner that Grant believes is the one that they all have to set their sights on. Race number 6, 2,400 meters the distance, Betway Wedgwood handicap, and this contest has got Flower of Saigon at 18-10 in the market. It is 3-1 about Wildest Dreams, definitely maybe at 5-1. It's then 5-1 Dame of Flame, 6-1, and Better Bar Those. Now, this filly Flower of Saigon, good winner in a penultimate start when beating First Street, and then last time out she ran a cracker behind Senso Unico. She's obviously the right horse in the race, but she's got 62 kgs to shoulder.
Yeah, she done extremely well in Port Elizabeth, this filly. Really, I make her very, very hard to beat as well. She's had 5 runs here for a win in 3 places. She knows what it takes to win in Port Elizabeth. She's 62, she's got to carry, she's earned it. But massive runner. She really, really does do very well in Port Elizabeth. So I'm going to take her to win it. I've actually banked her in the place accumulator as well. I can't see her missing the first 3. The danger is obviously Wildest Dreams, solid front runner, but mainly on poly. She's back on grass, long straight. That might catch her out. Definitely, maybe, and Medler's Tart. But I'm very much in the camp of Flower Saigon.
Yeah, that's Flower Saigon from the Glen Cotton yard with Raymond Danielson aboard. A horse that has had 5 starts on the turf surface out in PE for 2 wins, a second, a third, and a fourth. Moving along to race number 7, which is the Johnson Workwear Algoa Cup, and this is going to be run over 2,000 meters. It is a listed contest, and what a race! What a lineup of horses that line up for this event, Grant, because there's some very, very smart sorts. Obviously, grazing in the grass. He's a PE champ, and he's a horse that they'll all be hoping can go on and get the job done. But I was just having a look at this contest, and there's a horse that I like. Just having a look at the market here quickly. This horse Cherry No at 12-1 in the market. Now, if we have a look at his penultimate start, he has got grazing in the grass, absolutely stone cold at the weights. He's got 54 on the back, And he has done well on the turf track. So I think 12 to 1 is some nice value. What's your thoughts on the 7th?
Very tricky race, Rahil. You're going to have to go far with regards to Cherry. I know he's been gelded since that run. Unfortunately, the trainers here haven't had the opportunity to gallop horses on the grass. So he might be coming in underdone, to be very honest with you. I know it's a big race, but the situation we haven't had tracks to work on for fairly long, and definitely no grass. So he's definitely going to come into a race like this with no grass work under him, and that's probably going to be a big benefit to the Cape Town horses who've prepared their horses on the grass, and they normally come and give us a hiding when it comes to this race. Triple Time, very decent horse. The draws are not much of a concern. I wouldn't be too concerned about draws in this race, Rahil. Long back straight, long front straight. These Cape Town horses normally come from off the pace, and they run us down. The Futurist has got to be a big runner. And of the PE horses, obviously, you have the likes of Grazing in the Grass, who's in solid form. And then a horse that's not too far off him and much better off at the weight, the horse number 15, Quasimodo. Nice low weight. And wherever Grazing in the Grass is, Quasimodo is going to be right on top of him. But I still think the Cape Town horses are going to be too strong for us. I'm tipping the 5, 11, 4, and then from the Port Elizabeth side, the 2 and the 15.
Would you not consider number 1 Hoedspruit as a possibly? I know he is an ex-Cape Town horse, but he's a runner that did do well last time out, second behind Grazing in the Grass, and 200 meters more could suit him.
Will suit him, Rahil. The only problem there is that lumping 62 kilograms, and that's a bit on the heavy side, especially against these hard-knocking Cape Town horses. Hoping to run in back end of quartets to earn a check, but I think he's got his work cut out.
Yeah, fair enough. Number 1 with 62. Not going to be an easy task, but he's a horse that's certainly capable. And as you heard from Grant, the Cape Town horses certainly the ones that you want to be with in race number 7. Moving along to race number 8 on the program. And the 8th race, this will jump at 4:05, 1,200 meters a trip. It's a Pinnacle Stakes where Cliff Top tops the boards at 16 to 10. Cruise Control, he's returning off a layoff, but he gets a 4 kgs off the back, which will certainly be very, very beneficial. He's at 33 to 10. And then Kaya's Hope, who's a runner that has been priced up at 9 to 2. I thought he ran a very decent race last time out behind Grazing in the Grass. And then you've got 6 to 1 and Better Bar those. Competitive race over 1,200 meters. You a Cliff Top fan?
100% in this field, definitely. He's in form. He had a run fairly recently. He's taking on opposition that is coming back from long layoffs. Cruise Control better over 5 furlongs, 128 days off. Kaya's Hope, he runs and goes on a break, He's been off for 3 months. Probably needs a little bit further than that. His biggest dangers in Stable Companion, Inherit the Rain, and then down at the bottom, Captain Casanova is a horse that really has improved since coming to Port Elizabeth. But Cliff Top, he should have this lot at his mercy.
Yeah, that's horse number 2, Cliff Top, at around 16 to 10 in the market, and definitely the one to beat over track and trip. We move along to the final race on the day, race number 9, a classified stakes that will be run over the 1,600 meter trip. 16:40 is the off time for race number 9. Favorite is Path of Choice at 7 to 2, Storm Commander at 9 to 2, Phantom of the Forest is trading at 11 to 2, Africa's Rock is at 6 to 1 in the market, it's then 7 to 1 and Better Bar those. Now, this horse, Path of Choice, he won his last start, and I thought a masterful ride from Richard Fourie to get him home, and the form has been franked with the Timbavati River coming through to win, so obviously if he's in the same heart, he could well be competitive again, but I think there's a couple of others that could be lurking under the radar.
Yeah, very tricky race at the end of the day. It normally is like that in Port Elizabeth. Path of Choice definitely has got a chance. A question mark, obviously, being the mile on grass. The long straight might catch him out. He likes to take it up early and try and hold him off. Could be a little bit difficult. Phantom of the Forest holding solid form. He'll definitely enjoy being back on the grass. Then there's a horse, Humble Tune of Zisman Westhuizen. He's not without a chance as well. Storm Commander, very unlucky last time out. And he should be right there. And then this horse, number 1, Africa's Rock. He's really, really a decent horse. I think he'll very much improve being back on the grass, and he's got to have an outside chance. The pick 6, you're going to need a couple of horses here. The place accumulator, I went with 3 and 4. You might have to add in Africa's Rock and Humble Tune. But you need to go fairly wide here, Rahil, in a tricky kind of a race to end up the day.
Yeah, Africa's Rock having his peak run there with Dennis Schwarz aboard, and Jurgen van Heerden has got his horses in a very good space at the moment. I saw he ran a narrow second just yesterday with one of his fillies straight out the maidens, but a competitive race to close off the card. We're going to move along to the suggested bet, and Grant will guide us through his suggested bet for racing on Sunday out at Fairview, with obviously two nice races. Johnson Workwell Goa Cup, a listed contest, and then we've got the Betway Wedgwood Handicap. Grant, take it away with your suggested bet.
Thanks, Rahil. My best bet on the day, race 2, number 2, 3 Rocks. My value bet, race 5, number 10 Narcos. And my suggested bet, the place accumulator, where we start off with 1, 3, 8 by 3 and 4, by 10 and 12, by banker 1, by 2, 5, 11 and 15, by banker 2, by 3 and 4 at the back for 96 Rand.
That's a 96 Rand a perm there from Grant. Grant, thanks very much for your time. All the best on Sunday, and we look forward to the card because it does certainly look to be a nice one for both type of punters to get involved, the ones that like a bit of value and those that like to have a go on the favourites.
Yeah, 100%, Real. Thank you very much, and good luck to the punters tomorrow.
Thanks very much to Grant for his time. All the best, guys, on Sunday out at Fairview. Hopefully it treats you well.